Microphones are live. 10 seconds and counting. Excellent.
That been executive.
All right. Well, we'll get started here in just a moment. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We can start with public comments if you want, David.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and open the meeting at 3 p.m. and we're going to go ahead and have public committee or public comments. Are there any committee comments? Are there any comments from the public? There's no one here present with us. I understand there's one person online. All right. So we're going to hold on here just for a second. Uh-oh. There she is. All right. Do we have any outstanding public record requests?
Not at this time that are not in the hands of legal. Legal may still have that one large one. I have not seen that delivered yet. But other than that, that was an older one and is dependent upon legislation, is in the hand of Mr. Worth and company.
All right. That's very good. Conference and training travel.
Have no requests for conference or training travel at this point in time.
All right. Next month, if you have any plan to travel or would like to do travel, if you bring it to the committee next month?
Yes, if I have something next month, I'll bring it. I haven't had time to even look to see what's out there.
Okay. Yeah, understood. Understood. All right. Extension of agreement with Waterview. Who would like to tackle that?
I'll tackle that if you want to. Waterview is a software that we use for tracking our urban water usage goals that we have to abide by, well, this is for exterior outdoor usage. So they did the flying and the measuring of all the landscape and all that, and they've been refining all those numbers, and there's been some updates from the state. So that's all integrated into their program. And I've been working with them on the next one that's due January 1st. And then I have a meeting with them the week after next to go over everything. So they put together all the numbers I need to get that report to the state. It's really not something we could do in-house. It's a bugger for sure.
Okay, all right.
And so this would be an extension of the original 3-year agreement. And because it's over $100,000, it's over George's approval level, we are bringing it to the board. Each year is $33,350. And this is for a 3-year term.
So the price for the 3-year totals up to, but we're only paying $33,350 per year.
Each year, yes.
Okay. Off the top of your head, can you remember the interior amount of water? Was it 129 gallons per day per person?
Right now, aren't we at like 50 or something like that? I believe we're at 50.
Yeah, I think with all of the exemption.
Combined, sorry.
Oh, combined?
I'm thinking our usage. Rick, go ahead. Tell me
Yeah.
what's the state limit?
I think right now the state limit for interior use is the 55 gallons per person.
What's our allotment for exterior? Do they have a
I think
number?
Okay, so
I don't think they.
I could go look it up on the state website. It's either 117 or 159. I can't remember which. Those are the two numbers that pop up on the
Okay.
multi-graph that we have. And I can't tell you which one it is. I'd have to go look it up on the web. I can do that now if you'd like.
No. So what I'm looking for is you can't differentiate between internal and external water usage at this time, and we're not likely to be able to do that. But if you could tell me what those values are for each, and then what our average usage is per customer, and we can see if we're falling within state guidelines, that's all.
Oh, I can tell you that we're currently in compliance with the
Yeah.
2040 standard.
That's
So we're-
part of their report that they
Yeah.
produce for
So
us.
Then we're-
well below this current standard.
Yeah.
And as you move out to 2045,
Okay,
I believe it is, there, it gets tighter and tighter, but we're very close. I mean, within a couple of gallons of being in compliance with the standard that's way out there, like 15 years or 10 or
Yeah.
15.
then I don't need any more information, that's good.
Yeah, eventually we'll probably have to apply for the evaporative cooler variants, but not right now.
Great, that's what I wanted to hear, thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right, any questions, Chuck?
Yeah, I have a few, I guess. I'll just look at it as 100 grand. So in my opinion, I don't see a huge benefit to it. I would rather see that $100,000 go towards something that our staff needed or that we could use here. So I guess I'm asking staff, is there a huge benefit to it? As
It's
far as,
State required report, and there's no way we can come up with that data on our own. There's
Yeah,
just no
so
way.
the story that, the anecdotal story you hear is that this software company invented this software, sold their idea to the state, and the state essentially said, this is great. You have to give us all this information. And essentially the state mandated the use of this software to all agencies. This is a thing where if we wanted to get relief, we might have to go the route of some level of regulatory change up in Sacramento to get relief from this type of stuff. Because there may be districts like ours that we are so well in compliance, it's sort of dumb that we have this product that we don't need because we are in compliance. But that would probably take a regulatory change.
and I guess speaking along those lines, what is really going to change here? The county has a new ordinance in place, the city has an ordinance in place, so the landscaping is not going to change a whole lot. So if we have that data, why do we need to keep paying for the same flyovers on a yearly basis? If something changed drastically, I could see that, but it's just my concern. It's just,
Yeah, they're
seems to me it's a lot of money just for nothing.
flying over every year. But there are updates and changes to the way things have to be calculated every year. And they're incorporating that into our data, into our whole program. We just gave them some updated residential usage data and commercial usage data. And then there's going to be requirements for commercial landscape metering and things like that. It's going to have to be integrated in there. So there are new regulations that are coming up. They're going to have to be integrated into the program.
Yeah, like,
And they do it for us, which is great.
yeah, and there is work that we have to do. I believe Amber had to go through and like, for every commercial account, put it into one of like 30 categories or 40 categories.
Yes.
This is a car wash, this
Yeah.
is a school, this is a
Yeah,
body,
restaurant.
auto
or
body
whatever.
shop,
Yeah.
a restaurant. And it signals to you that the state is going to take the data from all these aggregated different businesses from all over the state and then start promulgating standards for each of these individual businesses. That's what they're headed towards. You know it.
So it is the staff's opinion then that this is vital and we keep it.
Yes, sir.
We would get violations if we didn't have.
Okay, good enough.
Recommend then that the board vote aye?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll go then to
Whether you like it or not.
Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. Now, the meeting is next Wednesday. Oh, we have a question. Go ahead, viewer. Okay. Okay. Caller, you appear to be muted.
For whatever reason, on the TV, it says color off. I don't know why that is. Yeah, now it says on.
Hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Renee Westphal. I want to back up on question regarding internal use versus external use
Go ahead.
of water.
Yeah.
How have you been calculating that? How has the water district been able to do that? And you said there's some county regulations that also
So here's the
gather
scoop.
this information?
Right. So the water district does not split their water usage up into those two categories. We can only give you an aggregate. What is the total amount of water being used per hookup per day? Now, the standards we're talking about are state of California, quote, conservation as a way of life, unquote, where each person in a house is allotted 50 gallons of fresh water a day and no more. And they have also an allotment for water used for irrigation, which is, what's the total?
It's either 117 or 150, 159, something like
Okay,
that.
so let's assume it's 159 for irrigation. So the total there is over 200 gallons per person per day. And our normal usage is about 129 gallons per day. So we're far under state requirements. Failure to meet state requirements would result in threatened fines.
Okay, so you've been able to calculate you're saying the gallons per person per household
Approximately, yes.
approximately, and right now you don't have any data that separates internal use from
No, we don't.
external use.
We'd have
Okay.
to put double meters on every parcel.
And it is worth mentioning that in the commercial area, there are dedicated irrigation meters at certain places, and the state would like us to encourage businesses and have them put the commercial side, put these dedicated irrigation meters so they can actually track, is Wendy's got a big lot and they're wasting a bunch of water. So, or a hotel would be a good example, but that does not apply. It's not economically feasible to do at the residential level, so that's not done.
Okay. So right now, our water use has dropped valley-wide because it used to be higher, I think, than 129.
Well, we were pumping over
Higher.
9,500 acre feet a year, and now we're down to roughly 5,500 acre feet a year. So we've had a substantial drop in water usage, and most of that has been the conversion of yards from greenscape to xeriscape.
Okay.
Did that answer the question, Renee?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right, Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. I haven't seen the upcoming agenda yet. I don't think it's been released. I don't expect it to be released until perhaps Friday. We had some interesting activity at the end of the last GA meeting where I was trying to get to the bottom of who put out the press release that was reported as being premature and retracted in the paper. And I got no answer, no satisfactory answer. And in fact, was essentially told to shut up by the county supervisor who said that I was rude. And I said, I have a right to ask questions. And then he said, well, that's funny from somebody who's always complaining about everybody else who's being rude. And so I said, wow. And that was the end of the meeting. So that was quite interesting.
Welcome to my world.
The agreement has come out. There is agreement signed with the Groundwater Authority and Searles Valley, but it does not closely follow the results that were publicized in the press release. In fact, it's something less than that. And I'm going to take a look and a little more close look at that so that I can answer those questions should they come up. And I have nothing else to report.
I think it is worth reporting. They also mentioned that for AVEC to supply water to the imported water pipeline, there might be an additional $50 million of investment needed to do that. And they went, we're really not sure who has to pay for it. I think, is that an accurate summary of what they said?
Just as far as it's been I've slept since then, but that sounds about right.
Yeah. And I think that's important because as we move forward and we try to figure out like, what is this pipeline truly going to cost our customers?
All
You know,
right.
an extra $50 million is going to make a difference.
So as you know, Garlock Road was washed out in a number of places, and one of the places apparently is where one of the proposed paths of their pipeline. So The engineering company says, well, we could put it under the road, but that costs a lot of money, and we could put it above the road and just, occasionally have to replace the pipe. There was a chuckle at the end of that, and I thought, it's really cost is no obstacle as long as it's somebody else's money. So they didn't plan for washouts on the road, and I don't think they've quite got that problem solved. So I've said it before, is not a $100 million project. It's not a $200 million project. It's a $500 million project, which has to be replaced every 30 years because the equipment wears out. So it's in perpetuity for the small valley in the middle of the Mojave Desert. That's all I have to say. Are there any comments or questions? Go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is Renee Westerlusk. I attended that GA meeting, and I just want to say that if you listen to the last city council meeting, Councilman Heyman, who's chairing the GA right now, gave a much more extensive press release about the Searles Valley Mineral Agreement. So that needs to be looked at. Not what was put in the Daily Independent so far. And then I had one other comment on the explanation that I remember being given about the erroneous press release published by the Daily Independent was that the reason why the press release was still posted on the GA website from Keith Lemieux said they did not retract that agreement summary that was posted on the website. So, and that was the one that the Daily Independent originally gave. But then he said that there was going to be more information coming out on the agreement, and I assume he meant the report at the last city council. So
Okay.
It might help the water district to get a hold of or listen to Councilman Heyman's press release that he read at the last city council meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes,
Just mainly information to pass on to you.
right. It'll be interesting to see if it's fundamentally different from the one that was released in October. And it might be, if it's more accurate, that's a good thing. But, the October release was sent before there was a signed agreement. And I was just trying to get to the bottom of who wrote it, who authorized it, so that sort of a thing can be avoided in the future, if it was indeed a mistake to have done that. All right, thank you, Renee. Do we have anything else on the Groundwater Authority? Oh, I also want to thank Renee for bringing the copy of the Independent so that I could have the actual press release read right there on the spot and remove all doubts. All right, so thank you again, Renee. Draft agenda for the regular board meeting, December 8th, 2025.
Okay, we worked on this. There are a few changes in a format sense about how we're going to do this. And so I want to thank Isabel for working hard to help me get this together and make a few changes. The first half is relatively standard up and through closed session. When we get to the open session, let's see, what do we have that would be of interest? There's a contract for the cleaning of water storage tanks that the board will need to consider. We already talked about the extension with Waterview, the groundwater adjudication, the GA. We are looking at a new contract with KP Affairs Contract Administration, so you'll get to review and vote on. There'll be election of officers and board and committee assignments. We'll talk about the board workshop. And then you'll see that I changed around this last section. So I sort of put general manager, engineering, financial and operations into 4 separate categories, and that'll basically be me, Renee, Ty, and John all sort of briefing our section. And I'm hoping what this does is it correlates the slides that we look at better with the agenda that we look at, because sometimes they don't line up very well. So we're hoping this new format does that. Run this by legal, they're happy with it. And so that's what we have. The last thing is, it is worth mentioning that Jesse Dollywall has been our regulator for 32 years. Is that what it is, Renee? He's having a formal retirement. I want to just give the board an opportunity to recognize the great service that he has provided us as our regulator, being both tough and fair, and holding us to the standards while, ensuring that the community gets its clean and safe water.
Okay, all right, very good.
I plan to draft a letter for the board to send to Mr. Dollywall, if that's what y'all would like to do. That was what George tasked me to do, so.
Okay,
I think it would be nice for him to have a letter from you, because he
absolutely, I agree.
Congratulations on his retirement, that
Yep.
kind of stuff.
Don't fail on retirement by getting back to work.
Does that mean are you the one failing in retirement here?
Technically, I am not an employee, which is what allows me to mark the box saying retired on donations. Right, Jack, what do you think?
I'm good with everything except for number 9. I guess I have a question. Why are we discussing general manager compensation in open session?
I believe it's a requirement of the law.
If we come to conclusions, so we have a contractual issue that we're updating, that
Okay,
needs to be announced.
okay.
Yep,
So it's just an announcement.
it's just basically,
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure.
Yep, no, good question. All right, so I believe we approve the minutes. Thank you. All the items that I was looking forward to seeing were on there. All right, let's see. Are there any future agenda items?
Not really. I presume that there will be some interesting discussions on the in-your-current CSD, given that we received a letter from the state this week.
Okay,
And I'm sure that will be coming up and will lead to lots of future agenda items.
I'm sure it will.
No,
Okay,
other than that, nothing.
no? All right, okay, then we'll go ahead and we will adjourn this meeting at 3:22 PM. Renee Westerlusk, thank you for joining us.